Today I'm going to show you the difference between the Paracas ancient people and other people who have lived in this area. Now this person is an example of Inca. This is a normal shaped skull. Now this is an example of cranial deformation. As you see, 3 cranial plates, which is normal. Your skull has that. The frontal, and then the 2 parietal plates. Now the Inca one has that as well. It's a normal feature in a human being. And this skull is very different from the other 2 I've shown you in many different ways. One thing is, in terms of plates, there are only 2. There's 1 frontal and there's 1 parietal. There are not 2 parietals, only 1.
Skull sutures are pretty good for determining age because the sutures are those lines in the skull that hold the different bones of the skull together. Your skull is not one, it's not one big bone, okay? Because the brain has to grow, the individual has to grow. So it's lots of bones held together by these lines, these sutures, with small bits of cartilage in between. And as the individual gets older, these sutures will start to disappear. Let's see if I have one that's disappearing. Maybe not. Yeah, kind of. Okay, here's a coronal suture of this this individual here, and you can see toward the ends it's starting to disappear. You can't see it very well. That's going to happen as you get into adulthood, later adulthood, 40s on up is when that's going to begin to happen. So if all I have is a skull and I can look at the sutures, that'll give me an idea. But the problem is, you know, it's not as exact as using those formative changes. Okay. I look for the presence of those. This individual right here is not even into his 30s yet, probably, because of the presence of those sutures, and especially that one down there, the farther down one on the temporal bone. There's a big suture there still. It hasn't even started to close.